going to be talking to Oluwatobi Adesonya. He is an equity trader at Zcrest Securities Limited. Good afternoon, Oluwatobi. It's good to have you on the show.
Good afternoon, Will. Thank you for having me.
Oluwatobi, we see markets rebounding, losing that, snapping that losing streak and rebounding in the market. What's driving this positive sentiment we're seeing?
Yes, we can say the rebound, that we started seeing from this morning, we could tie it to, low prices. We have seen 6 sessions of declines consecutively. So most stocks the prices have gone down. So, right, so we can say investors are taking opportunity of these low prices.
So what are is it bargain hunting or is it like after, what else apart from bargain hunting we're seeing here? Are there other factors driving this apart from bargain hunting?
Sorry, can you take that again?
Apart from bargain hunting in the market, because investors are taking advantage of the low prices, are there other factors driving the positive sentiment, the rebound in the market?
Yes, because if we look across sectors, for the past, let me say 2 months, we've seen the markets rally, from the month of July, even August, towards the very end of August, especially when the insurance reform policy came on board. So we've seen investors react to that. And of course, that we have been seeing a lot of profits taken, like I mentioned earlier, in the last 6 sessions, back to back. So investors have been taking profits. But now, in fact, all this just speaks to the fact that the market is an efficient one because a rally cannot continue forever. So market is meant to be full of ups and down, times or seasons. So, and of course, when market is down, investors know what to do. That's when they would want to buy. And when it is high, they will want to sell. So I believe from today's rebound, so most likely we will start seeing investor sentiments, in the positive space again.
Although even if we've seen this rebound now, Toby, we see market activity appears to still be very low. What could be driving this low activity in the market?
Yeah, I would say market activity is still quite low. I would say investors are being cautious. It's how in the Nigerian markets, people like to see things happen before they react. I'm sure that, as we are seeing positive momentum now, maybe from the next session, people will start having positive sentiment again. So it is still investors being cautious as to, examining what's really happening. And moreover, if you look at the T-bill space again, so we can see that the stock market is still more attractive if we compare it to the fixed income space. So for now, the reason for the low activity is simply because investors are being cautious and, before entering any stock, so they are just being cautious. That's why we are still seeing low activities. But in subsequent sessions, we should see activities increase.
Okay, so today is final trading day in Nigeria for this week because tomorrow is a public holiday. What do you see the market ending with today, and what's your outlook for next week? And just to put this in, is the correction over in the markets?
Yes, today's the last trading day. Tomorrow, there will be public holiday. It will be nice. Of course, let me say, I expect the market to close in the green today. I expect the market to close in the green today. And the momentum might continue, from the beginning of next week, right? And of course, we will still see some people want to take profits because, like I said, investors are being cautious and looking at what is really happening in the market. Like, so is the decline session, is it over? Or are we entering the bullish session again? And one thing we should also be cognizant of is that we are expecting financial statements from the banks. Yeah, so by the time we start seeing those financial statements, that would also dictate market direction any moment from now. So we should start seeing banks release their financials. And of course, we would also hope to see interim dividend announcements. So with all this, we expect the markets to still be positive in the long run.
Okay, definitely. Well, consumer goods also, we see that pick up today after also closing negative yesterday. So for consumer goods, is there any news in the market that possibly is going to keep driving the stock up?
For consumer goods, if I would say for most of the sectors, they've been closing in the red, in the past few days. For consumer goods, at the earlier of the session, so we could see buy interest in the brewery stocks, like the likes of Inch Brew, Champion, I think Champion is down. I mean, I checked last, but as of this morning, we are seeing buy interest because if we look at a stock like International Brewery, as of July, it was trading as high as 15 naira, 16 naira. So, but now it is around 11 naira, 12 naira. So that just shows how investors are. I mean, so that would be a good entry point for most investors, let me just say. And the same thing goes for a stock like Honeywell, also in the consumer goods space. If you look at the early period of last month, it was around 25, 26 naira. Now it's around 22 naira. So all these low prices are a kind of good entry for investors. So beyond the consumer goods space, let me say across board. So that's why we are seeing most sectors in the green for now.
Thank you so much, Oluwatobi Adesoyan, equity trader, Zcrest Securities, for your perspective.
Thank you so much for having me.